I'm not gonna lie, I'm having fun putting people on the spot. I'm just meeting Laura Lee Paha of Nashville, Tennessee. I live in Huntsville, so we're fairly close, like 2 hours and 2.5. And I'm really trying to kind of, I'm still somewhat new to Huntsville, and I'm like, oh, I see somebody who's close to me. I've got to meet them. So Laura does this amazing thing called Family Constellation, and she's been doing it over a decade. 11 years, and she's just now starting to branch out from working with people one-on-one to doing group sessions. So I'm just going to let her talk a little bit about what that is.
Yeah, so I discovered this work through my own spiritual healing journey. And what brought me to it was the fact that I was watching myself repeat patterns that were harmful to me over and over and over again, feeling stuck, not knowing how to get out of it, and not understanding, like, why do I keep doing this to myself? And long story short, discovered that it wasn't me. Like, these patterns didn't start with me. They started within my family of origin. They've been passed down from generation to generation. But there's a way to tap into that energy and heal it. And that's what we do through family constellation work. And what I've found in working with people one-on-one and now moving to groups is that no matter what someone's struggling with, you can usually find the answer and bring healing to it through this work, through working with your family, not actually your family, but the energy of your family and the energy of your ancestors. And it's really powerful stuff, and it brings people a lot of clarity and a lot of peace.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Can you, so you have one coming up in Nashville, just a little bit about the structure, like how many hours, what can they expect?
So this one's going to be 3 hours. I usually allot an hour to 90 minute per constellation, and off the bat had two people ask to receive constellations. So we're going to have 3 hours, and what we do is first just kind of do an overview of what the constellation looks like, what it means to hold space in a constellation if you're in that circle, what it means to represent a member of someone's family or an aspect of that family system. And then we begin the constellation, and whoever's receiving the constellation asks people from the circle if they would be willing to represent either themselves or some member of their family. And from there, we just set up the constellation, and that's kind of where the constellation word comes from. People assume it has something to do with astrology or the stars, but it doesn't. We're just setting up the individual members and pieces of that system, and we're able to see, like, where there are blocks, like where is the flow of love blocked in this system, and what needs to happen and shift in order for love to flow through the system again.
Mm. Now tell me, because you said that you bring patriarchy into this, and sometimes that makes the men bristle or whatever. Can you explain that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how what that has to do with this?
Um, well, a lot of these wounds are passed on simply because they're not acknowledged. And I think that the patriarchy plays a big role in that. It's like, it's really defined for us, like, what's acceptable, what's shameful, what needs to be kept secret. And what I know from this work is when things aren't acknowledged and they're shoved down, they're going to be passed on from generation to generation. But if we can break free from the ideology that emotions are shameful, that family secrets need to be kept secret, that things need to be excluded instead of included in a family, like, that's where the wounding takes place and that's where it's passed on. But if we can expand and hold space for those things that haven't been previously acknowledged or included, then massive shifts can occur.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And I was sitting here listening to you, and there's some movie I saw that had family constellation work. I'm going to have to remember the name. But meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the description your Laura's contact information. You can find her events on the Divine Feminine app. And if you have a website, I'm thinking, I'm sure you do.
I do, yeah.
Yes, so I'll put website information and where you can find out more information on all of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.